Over the years, I've shared more than 400 sustainable habits to reduce waste, reuse and repurpose everyday items, and try to live more intentionally and consume a little more consciously. Although my life may look a little differently now, I still endeavour to live as sustainably as I can, reuse and repair my things, grow some of my own food, and continue on with my learning journey. Autumn is a time of change, and always has me thinking about the zero waste habits that resurface during this season on a daily, weekly and monthly basis. One that always immediately stands out to me is food preparation and preservation. I've been lucky with my garden this year, which produced lots of chilies, tomatoes and tomatillos. For the past few years now, I've mostly stuck to growing veggies that I know will do well in my climate. Hopefully in the future, when we have a bigger space, I can dive a little deeper into creating an urban homestead to produce as much of our own fruit and veggies as possible. For now, I'm grateful to have the space to grow at least some food in grow bags I've collected over the years. A few things that I'm preserving this year are green salsa. I love to preserve some peaches and other berries. Of course, making tomato sauce with my San Marzanos, and pickling all the veggies that I can that I just love to put on things like jalapenos, carrots, and so many other things. I also need to get some kimchi on the go too. I like to go through my bathroom cupboards and reassess what's in there. I truly only do this once a year because I just can't be bothered most of the time, and I'm not the biggest beauty girl out there. I have the things I like and will occasionally try something new, but like many people, I can always be a little more conscious, so I've been embarking on Project Pan. If you haven't heard of Project Pan before, it's a movement encouraging consumers, particularly in the beauty and skincare industries, to use up their existing products before purchasing new ones. The goal is to promote mindful consumption, reduce waste, save money, and resist the urge of overconsumption by consciously using up what one already owns. The name Project Pan comes from the act of hitting pan, which means using a makeup product so much that the metal pan at the bottom is visible. So a more sustainable swap I made a couple years ago was to the Surrey toothbrush. I've been using it for 2 years, but they are sponsoring this portion of today's video. And I ended up switching because my old toothbrush, it died after only a few years. It was really messy and I found it very difficult to travel with and keep it nice and hygienic. So the fact that I already use this, I was very excited to partner with them for the Surrey 2.0. I travel a lot. I go camping, I go back to the UK to visit my family, and I go to Michigan to visit my husband's family and my friends in California. So being able to travel with my toothbrush in a way that's nice and hygienic and convenient and very lightweight is so helpful. And the travel case that also comes with the Surrey has UV cleaning inside. Other than the fact that it just simply looks nice and is convenient, it's dentist approved, it has a 1 month long battery life, and has over 4,000 5-star reviews, which says a lot. They have innovative plant-based heads which Surrey will recycle for free, which is great. We love to see some accountability throughout the whole cycle of production. And they also have a 100-day money-back guarantee just in case. So if you're interested in trying a Surrey, you can get 20% off using my code IMISURREY, or just click the link in the description below. I have the blue one. I think it's so pretty. As the morning and evening start to get cooler, all my greens have kind of gone, and it's time to start growing my own sprouts again. I tend not to do this during the summer because we do get some fruit flies and they love to collect around the sprouts. So I kind of wait till it's cooler where they've gone, and I start to try and grow some of my own sprouts just to add a bit more nutrition to my meals. And of course save on plastic, and they're very expensive from the shop. I also like to do a little audit of my subscriptions. I have a few subscriptions to some sustainable companies for toilet roll and laundry tabs and things like that, and I just like to go over them to make sure that I haven't kind of oversubscribed to something. I make sure that I'm using up all the things that I've actually subscribed to, and I'll just go through the cupboards, see how much I've got left, whether I need to renew my order or whether I need to actually pause it for a little bit of time, which actually often happens. Meal prepping with the seasons is something I love to do. I change what I eat a little bit more to be in line with what's in season currently, and I like to do a little bit of a research into what kind of meals I should make. Peaches are unfortunately coming to an end. The last week of Palisade peaches was last week, and I will definitely be sad to see those go until the next year. But this does come the time for things like root vegetables and kale, lots of dark leafy greens, and the last of all the summer tomatoes, tomatillos, peppers, chilies, and all of those fun things that I like to preserve. I'll also take a look at what needs preparing and what needs doing in the garden. Some things will need covering, some things will need mulching, I'll need to cut some things down when they're ready. But our neighbours also have some vines that come over into our garden, and we get a lot of grapes on the floor. Unfortunately, these grapes do not taste good, so we can't have them, but we do get a lot of raccoons in our garden because of these grapes, so I just like to clear them up and move them to the side so that they're available for those animals if they want them, but that they're not getting squished under our feet and trampling them through the house all the time. Okay, now let's talk decluttering. I feel like with the changing of the seasons, people tend to do a deep clean. They go through their wardrobes and do a big clear out. But a couple of years ago, I said I never wanted to declutter again, and this was mostly due to the fact that I was pretty certain that unless we're going through a transitional phase, decluttering mostly is due to over-consuming, or at least it was for me. I felt that if I addressed my consumption, then I wouldn't need to declutter. I think decluttering can be particularly hard or challenging during transitional seasons. As you can tell, it's very dark in here. It's been raining all day, and it was raining all day yesterday, so autumn is very much here in Colorado. And this is the kind of time of year where I go through my closet and put away some of my summer clothes that I probably won't be wearing again for 6 months or something. But also in Colorado, throughout the day, you have a lot of transitions. So the early morning might feel like winter, morning might feel like autumn, the afternoon might feel like summer. It's a bit all over the place, so it's kind of hard to decide what to put away and what not to, but there are definitely some things that I will not be wearing until next year. And I think one of the hardest things about getting your clothes out again is trying them on, and if they don't fit you anymore, it kind of makes you feel like, well, I don't want to hold on to this. And that's kind of what I meant by transitional phases. You should never feel bad about allowing clothes to move on if they just don't fit you anymore, if they're too big, if they're too small, or they just don't make you feel good about yourself. Or I think one of the biggest times I decluttered was actually before I moved to the US, because I didn't want to be taking a lot of stuff with me, and I thought this was the perfect transitional phase of my life to really think about the things that I own and what I want to take with me into this new stage. Right now though, I don't feel like I'm going through a transitional phase. I feel like all my clothes still fit me. I still have all the things that I really like, and I don't really feel the need to declutter because this year I've really been trying very hard to address my consumption, and I've only brought things into my life that have really made a difference in terms of hobbies that I've taken up and clothes that I have needed for different practical things like a rain jacket for hiking or that kind of thing. I will definitely still go through my clothes and just make sure that everything is being stored well. Obviously, I've made a lot of jumpers this year and last year, and I just want to protect my clothes to make sure that they last as long as possible. I also do this by hanging up to dry a lot of my clothes. That just promotes the longevity of them. Particularly for sportswear, the dryer can definitely kind of scratch things, especially leggings, and I like leggings to last as long as possible. But yeah, just something to think about when you're decluttering. Think about why you are decluttering so much, or why you do feel like you need to declutter, especially if you're not going through a transitional phase, like you're moving or your body is changing, or you just want to kind of change up your style a little bit, which are all very valid reasons to declutter. But yeah, I'm also doing Project Pantry, so let's talk about that. I've been undergoing Project Pantry as well, making sure random things in the cupboard get eaten, spices, leftover, bits from this and that, but it feels like now is the right time to take everything out and give the cupboards a good clean and account for everything in there. I also like to think that I clean the fridge as often as I need to, but the reality is I get lazy and I let it go on for a little too long. So it's time to do a big fridge audit and clean. Then I like to make a proper shopping list for all the autumn produce I'll buy, prep and store in there. Of course, I always store my leftovers in a container in the fridge, but in the autumn I tend to make heartier meals, and there always ends up being more meal prep food to be stored. So I just make sure that everything is in airtight containers so nothing goes off, as I hate food waste more than anything else. This also encourages me to look in the freezer and make sure things are being eaten, because it is so easy for me to forget things in there. I'm very bad at labeling, so I'm trying to be much better at that this year, so I don't look in the freezer, see some miscellaneous items and just not eat them because I have no idea what they are. This autumn, I've also decided to embark on a personal curriculum by taking a few courses for fun to improve my art, learn more history, French and physics, and the guitar. But I won't be buying anything new. Instead, I've been using my library. I even rented an audiobook from my library to listen to, and I've been doing online art classes as well as free online guitar classes. I've even looked into free workshops I can take at my library this autumn, which I'm very excited about. There are sewing ones here in Denver, which I just need to get around to doing. I've been a bit lazy about it. My guitar was even found on Facebook Marketplace, so I'm always trying to find pre-loved things where possible before considering buying new. Although I may still do a little more camping, for the most part this season is over for me. So I like to put up my tent and give it a good clean, patch up any holes and store it away properly so it's perfect and ready for the next season. I tend to do this with a lot of my gear to reduce the chance of needing to replace it down the line. The same goes for my climbing gear. I'm going to look at my shoes and I might have to resole some of the shoes that I have because there are holes that are forming. But it's also important to clean out your gear and your rope and things like that just to reduce wear and tear. Of course, there are so many more zero waste habits that I do that I just am forgetting here in autumn, but there are also many frugal habits I like to do as well. As we enter the final quarter of the year, I like to do a more full audit of my finances. I go through my bank statements from the past few months and see where I've over or underspent, and if I've gone a little wild, then this provides an opportunity to take stock and realign with my financial goals. I like to categorize everything so I can easily see an overview of my most spent areas and where I've spent the least. And I like to create a budget for the next few months with all this information. I also use this time to prepare for a no-buy October. I do this every year and it often necessitates a little planning. So I just take some time in September to look ahead and make sure certain things are accounted for, like bills, therapy, car payments, all that kind of stuff. And then I just plan it out so I know which days will be spend days and which days will be no spend days, and if anything like birthdays or stuff like that are coming up so that I can account for them and not kind of fall off or feel disheartened when I have to spend money on something or buy something because I'd already planned it out. For my no buy month, for some reason I always do October. I feel like October seems to be a quiet month for me, which is why I choose that one. But I have this book that I've been using all year, which has like a nice overview of the days as well as, you know, a more each day on a page type thing. But I like having an overview of the month because then I can color code them when I've had a good day that was supposed to be a no spend day or a no buy day, and then also a different color when I only spent the money that I had kind of planned out, like days that bills go out on, or if I knew that I had a payment that day, or if I had planned out a specific thing to buy a gift for someone that day for a birthday or whatever. For some reason, gamifying things always helps me, and the color coding has been really helpful. I was very good at that at the beginning of the year. Like this was my January. You can see all the color coding, and all the blue ones were no spend days and all the yellow ones were planned days, and the red ones, which were only 2, were days that I was not supposed to spend money and I did. And it just helped me to look over, and at the end I'll tally it up and be like, oh, I had 16 no spend days, 13 expected spend days and 2 unexpected, which was pretty good. I've definitely fallen off my low buy year just a little bit because of the summer, but I feel like this no buy October or no spend October is really going to help me to kind of get back to that routine of not spending and kind of building that habit back up of thinking about where I want that money to go instead. If you're interested in me doing a kind of plan with me for the no buy October, let me know and we could definitely do that. But I kind of like to do my frugal and zero waste habits kind of together now because they really fold into each other quite well. I mean, a lot of the zero waste habits I do really save me money over time, and a lot of the frugal habits help me to consume less, so it kind of feels like they go together quite nicely. But yeah, if you like this video, you might want to see my winter one from last year, or I have a de-influencing video coming on Thursday, so make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss another video. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really does help to support my channel. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Okay,